Welcome in, everyone. I am so incredibly pumped to have you here for this explainer. Today, we're going to completely demystify the complex and honestly, sometimes pretty overwhelming world of whole house water purification. Look, if you've ever felt totally lost staring at plumbing specs, filter types, and a mountain of confusing jargon, you are exactly in the right place. We're going to walk through a really logical, step-by-step buyer's journey together. By the end of this explainer, you're going to know exactly how to evaluate your home's specific needs and pick the absolute perfect system. The goal? Getting clean, safe water flowing from literally every single tap in your house.
Okay, let's dive into this. You walk up, fill a glass from your kitchen sink, and it looks perfectly fine, right? Crystal clear? But what's actually in it? Depending on where you live, the makeup of that clear water can vary wildly. You could be dealing with some serious hidden dangers. Things like elevated chlorine and disinfection byproducts, maybe creeping heavy metals leaching from aging pipes, or even stubborn sediment and iron that silently wreck your appliances over time. The problem is, you can't just slap any random filter on your pipes and hope for the best. You need a solid roadmap to clean water, and that is exactly what we're going to build today.
So think of me as your general contractor for this project. Here is our blueprint. First up, testing before investing. Second, we'll decode GPM flow rate. Third, we're breaking down the top whole house systems on the market right now. Fourth, I'll share the bypass valve secret. And finally, we'll cover long-term maintenance. Let's get to it.
Section 1. Test before you invest. The foundation.
I literally cannot emphasize this point enough. You cannot treat what you haven't tested. Just guessing what might be floating around in your water is a guaranteed way to waste your hard-earned money. So, the absolute crucial point is, before you spend a single dime on any water treatment system, you need to get your water tested. Honestly, whether you're hooked up to municipal city water or drawing from a private well, getting a certified lab test takes all that anxiety and guesswork and turns it into a clear, highly actionable plan.
Let's break down why that test is such a game changer by comparing our two main water sources. If you're on city water, your primary enemies are usually chlorine, chloramines, and those pesky disinfection byproducts. To knock those out, you need a carbon filter. Think of activated carbon like a microscopic, hyperdense sponge that just attracts and traps all those chemical impurities, leaving your water smelling and tasting super fresh. On the flip side, if you're on well water, your test might reveal things like high sediment, iron, or even acidic water. That needs a totally different game plan, like sediment filters or acid neutralizers. And, if your test ever flags dangerous heavy metals, like lead or arsenic, you might need to pair your whole house system with a dedicated under-sink reverse osmosis setup. That acts less like a sponge and way more like an incredibly tight screen, physically blocking pretty much everything except pure water molecules.
All right, moving to Section 2, Understanding GPM Flow Rate, Decoding the Jargon.
So before we even start looking at specific brands, we have to learn the language of water flow. This right here is where so many first-time buyers make a massive mistake. GPM, which stands for gallons per minute, is simply a measurement of how much water can actually flow through your home's plumbing in 60 seconds. If you accidentally buy a filter with a GPM that's just too low for your house, it literally acts like a bottleneck. You're going to experience these huge, highly annoying drops in water pressure.
So, you're probably wondering, what number should I actually be looking for? 15. For medium to large homes, 15 GPM is the absolute sweet spot. It gives you more than enough volume and raw power to keep up with high simultaneous water demand all across your entire house. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you taking a really nice hot shower. Down the hall, someone else starts the washing machine. And maybe the dishwasher is running in the kitchen too. Without a solid 15 GPM system, you're going to get hit with that dreaded toilet flush freeze, where your luxurious shower instantly turns into this sad, freezing little trickle. But with a steady 15 GPM flow rate, your system handles all those demands at the exact same time without tanking your water pressure. It is totally non-negotiable for a comfortable home.
Section 3, Top Whole House Systems, the Contenders. Let's see how this builds.
Now that you've got your test results in hand, and you know you need that glorious 15 GPM sweet spot, let's start narrowing down our targeted solutions based on real-world performance. We're going to look at 3 heavy hitters today. First, the iSpring, which is your budget-friendly, fundamental choice. Next, the HomeMaster, an absolute superhero for well water. And finally, the Springwell, our premium, super high-capacity champion. First up on the chopping block is the iSpring WGB32B. Look, this is pretty much the perfect setup for first-time buyers who are on municipal city water. It gives you a 5-micron sediment filter, and that's followed up by 2 hefty carbon block filters. It easily strips out chlorine, pesticides, and herbicides, all the usual municipal suspects. But what really makes it great is that it delivers that massive 15 GPM flow rate. It doesn't even require electricity, and it just balances performance and cost beautifully. It hits the nail right on the head when it comes to the fundamentals.
But hey, what if you aren't on city water at all? Enter the Home Master 3-stage. If you've ever walked into your bathroom and noticed those gross orange rust stains in your sinks or toilets, or if you turn on the tap and get totally hit with a nasty rotten egg smell, this is the system built specifically for you. It precisely targets well water nightmares like iron, manganese, and hydrogen sulfide, and yeah, it does all that while maintaining that strong 15 GPM flow. It goes straight after the heart of problem water.
And then we have the Springwell CF. This is absolutely the premium champion for city dwellers. It uses this incredibly impressive blend of catalytic carbon and KDF media right inside the tank, targeting everything from heavy metals to VOCs. But the real showstopper here, it has a massive 1 million gallon capacity. Just to put that into perspective, that translates to roughly 10 solid years of lifespan for the main media tank before you have to worry about it. It uses high-end NSF-certified components, and it truly is the ultimate set-it-and-forget-it system.
Which brings us to Section 4, the bypass valve's secret, an installation golden rule.
So we're shifting gears now from just picking out hardware to actually talking about practical installation. Whether you decide to hire a pro plumber or you're going to tackle this as a weekend DIY project, you are going to encounter a maze of tubes, housings, and complex plumbing lines down in your utility room. And believe me, when it eventually comes time to change a cartridge, the absolute last thing you want is for water to go spraying everywhere or having to shut off your entire house's water supply for hours on end just to do a simple swap.
That is exactly why you must install a bypass valve. I'm telling you, it's the ultimate headache saver. The process is brilliant. Step 1, you just turn the valve and untreated water temporarily keeps bypassing the filter and flowing to your house. Step 2, this completely isolates your filter housing from the home's water pressure. And step 3, you just unscrew the housing, pop in the new cartridge quickly and cleanly, and you never even had to drain your home's plumbing. Seriously, this boring, inexpensive little plumbing fixture is going to become your absolute best friend when maintenance day rolls around. All right, Section 5, Maintenance for Long-Term Success, the reality check.
Because here is the reality check. A purification system is only ever as good as its filter replacement schedule. If you just ignore it, contaminants are going to slip right through. But look at how totally manageable this timeline actually is. Every 3 months or so, you just do a quick visual check on your sediment filters. At around 6 months, you replace the pre-filter on those high-capacity systems. Once a year, you swap out the large cartridges on systems like the iSpring or Home Master. And remember that massive Springwell tank? It can go up to 10 years before the internal media is actually exhausted. Just contrast the super simple schedule with the endless, back-breaking chore of lugging heavy cases of bottled water from the grocery store every single week. With a whole house system, you're getting pure, consistent water from every tap for literal cents on the gallon.
So I want to leave you with this final, slightly provocative thought. Are you ready to become your home's own water utility? You've got the blueprint now. You know you absolutely must test your water first. You understand why that 15 GPM flow rate is so crucial. You've met the top contender systems on the market, and you know the brilliant secret of the bypass valve. You are completely empowered to take control of your home's water quality right now. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. And hey, here's the cleaner, safer water for you and your family.